Da-na-na-na-na. Which one is it? Which camera?
It's that camera, Sam.
Live show. Live show. It's trailer review. E3, everybody. That's what we're doing today.
Trailer edition. Every single possible trailer you've ever seen, ever. That's maybe even probably a fake trailer. I found lots of fake trailers while I was setting up.
Really?
Tons of fake trailers. And they always disable their like and dislike ratios and
course.
comments. You know?
I remember when I saw the Titanic 2 trailer all those years ago. Have you seen that?
I have not.
It looked pretty real for a second. I was like, hang on, no, it's like Jack's Revenge or some shit. I was a lot stupider back then, but I'm a lot smarter now, believe it or not, everybody, okay?
Yes.
So today we're going to be doing E3 wrap-up, bits and pieces throughout about other news. But
E3 wrap-up, Sam. We haven't even started E3 yet. How the fuck are we
guys,
going to do a wrap-up?
we're
Jesus
from
Christ.
the future. Everyone knows that. We've already done E3, okay? We live in Australia. We're going to do an E3, what we're expecting. Mostly trailers today, okay? So have your are we doing volume on this today?
Yeah, actually. I know this got a lot of complaints last time, so I'm going to jack the volume and see
Let us know if it is better.
Is it too staticky now when we do the max volume? Just tell us, because we got lots of complaints. It's going red there, so I'm going to assume it is. We're just going to try and make it so the sound is louder than we had last time.
Yeah, and while we do that, let's do the drop! Wow, it's a fantastic drop as always. Smooth as hell, everyone. Laymen Gaming at its finest. There's no need for any transitions when it's coming to the drop. The phone's the best. The phone's the best way to do it, everybody.
It's still peaking, it says, so we're going to drop it down some more.
Whoa!
Oh, shit!
Holy shit! Laymen live, everybody! Laymen live! Laymen live! Everyone always knows. This always goes very smooth. So, we're not going to spend 15 minutes like last time, then put an ad just after we finish the actual technical issues. So, what is going on with the first thing that we're looking at, everybody?
Wait. Let's just make sure our sound levels are correct.
I can see it looks fine.
I know it looks fine there, but trust me, it's too loud. So now people are saying sound is great. High quality sound effects. We've got the mic collapsing on set. New member Heisenberg, the one who knocks. Thank you very much, my man. Appreciate you. And it's still peaking, and it's not peaking on my audio thing now.
Is peaking only an Australian thing when like people are peaking at like festivals and shit, or is that just like is that a worldwide thing? Comment section, let us know. But is it still peaking, or is it looking pretty good?
I think it sounds pretty good here. Says someone. High production value. Good. Someone called Christian Bale to handle this. It's fine. It's live. By the way, guys, this is a true thing that I got sent yesterday. Okay.
Hashtag ad.
This is a true thing that I got sent. It is literally, I think you Americans call it Axe body spray.
Axe.
But in Australia we call it Lynx. It's literally gamer deodorant. Now you can smell like Doritos and.
I would actually buy that.
The Epic Game Store. That'd be so good, actually. They should have different scents. Imagine Epic Game Store deodorant. That'd be sick.
Yes.
So that's it.
I think the Epic Game Store would be the one that the air freshener in the toilet. Okay, that's the one that you put for the toilet. And if you want to smell like City Project Red, then
that's right.
That's the one you put on.
Yeah,
okay?
you know, because all the ads for Lynx is like, or Axe or whatever, it's like put it on. All these women swarm around you, and if there were like video game developer things, the City Project Red one would be the one that would
exactly.
The EA one would be like the way my wife actually reacts to Lynx body spray. Whenever I put on like Axe or Lynx, my wife's like, "Oh,
yeah, it's horrendous.
Get away from me!
It's absolutely
You're sleeping
horrendous.
on the couch tonight," you know. So okay, listen. Now I think we're ready to go. Look, I know everyone's spamming us in the chat about Destiny 2. I feel like we need to cover that off very quickly first. We're going to do a dedicated video on this, but TLDR. Destiny 2 is going to go free to play. It's called First Light.
First Light.
Last Light's a map, never mind. And it's going to be basically all the year one content is going to be free.
Yep.
They're going to start monetizing by selling the newest expansion, which is called Shadowkeep. There's going to be cross-play across all... cross-save, across all platforms.
Saving Ralph yet again with the actual facts and logic, everyone.
Thankfully, Sam knows a lot about Destiny and can really keep the show moving.
I've finally looked at something for once, and I know what I'm talking about, everybody.
Yeah, so Shadowkeep, the new expansion, cross-play... Cross-save, lol. And that only came through in the last minute because they put so much pressure on Sony. And then just today they negotiated the cross-save deal with Sony.
Really? Just today?
Just today.
Wow, okay.
So a very big deal. There's also going to be It's coming to Stadia. LOL, we'll talk
And
about
Steam.
that separately. And yeah, obviously it's leaving the Blizzard launcher because they're no longer part of Activision.
I'm surprised because when that first happened, they said, look, we're going to leave this here. We're going to let you still access it through Battle.net. So is that actually not happening now? They're not even going to leave it there?
No, of course, they have to take it off Battle.net because they're no longer with Activision. So why would they support it?
Because I remember when they first announced it, they said you can still access Destiny from here. So
for now, yes. But that was always...
I thought it was going to be like indefinitely kind of thing. But it sounds like, when you watch the stream, there's an energy to it, there's an excitement to it.
Are you talking about Laymen Live? Or...
Oh, Laymen Live, of course.
Laymen Live right now, right?
They look like they're just, there's so much effort and love and time that they want to put into this. And this whole rebranding situation with them, I think, is actually pulling off. I think that if they stayed with Activision, would they be... in such a favour with the audience as they are now? Probably not. I think the reset button that they needed was great, and then to see all these big changes that they want to bring to it, make it free to play, make it more accessible, free to play for the first year of content, make it more accessible on Steam and Stadia. I think it's all good stuff.
Stadia, by the way, you're going to need to buy games on Stadia. If you buy a game on Stadia, you are a muppet. I swear to God, Google loves to shut down more stuff than it begins.
Totally.
So if you want to spend a couple of $100 and then have your library instantly disappear in 2 years' time when Google eventually gets bored of this, then good on you.
Yeah, but you actually made a good point. Very rare Ralph will make a good point. We were driving here and he said, look, if you can show that you've purchased the game on another platform, it should be free with a subscription service or some shit on Stadia. But it doesn't look like that's there. But I think, I thought everyone thought it was going to be a subscription service. I think that's the only way to do it, to mimic Netflix and stuff like that, It is. Because they're already in the marketplace doing similar things with content.
It is subscription service, but it doesn't give you access to all the games, so we can assume that newer games are going to have to be bought. And I think, as I said, that would be dumb. Video's only just started, but Sam is wrong.
I'm wrong already?
The great fun guy. Thank you very much, the great fun guy.
All right, so
we're gonna have a more detailed Destiny video out. We wanted to get a Stadia video out today as well, but unfortunately we don't have time for that because tomorrow we are literally getting on the plane to go to E3.
Yep,
that is like less than 24 hours. 24 hours from now, we will be on a plane to Los Angeles.
Sponsored by Xbox. We'll have the Green Man with us the whole time. Actually, we're probably going to bring. Oh, that's something we didn't include in the pack.
Cactar.
We were going to bring Cactar. He's rude as hell. He'll get us kicked out of many events, but he's coming with us. He's going to sit with us while we do all our coverage of E3.
Justin Movie says the only problem with us being live is you can't skip Sam when he keeps rambling on. I totally agree with you.
Have I rambled already?
Welcome to my life.
Have I rambled already? Was I the one that hurt the actual set like Ralph? No, everybody.
I will say that this is a really massive E3 for us. Like, in terms of scheduling, it's the biggest schedule we've ever had. You should see. I can't show you our schedule because it's actually full of...
all the Bethesda content we're seeing.
That's right.
All the EA stuff.
Special VIP backstage pass.
Are we going to go to the EA Day thing?
We don't have time. We're too busy.
We're
too busy.
We should do an infiltration day.
So basically, though, any major game that's playable at E3, if it's not from Bethesda or EA, we are playing it. Yeah. Right? And I said some of that we can't even share with you because it's still confidential.
We can't talk about NAC 3? Not yet?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Just keep that on the DL, please.
Shaq Fu 3. Get ready for the Shaq attack.
We got 100 rubles.
I love rubles.
I think it's rubles, is it right?
Is it rubles?
Thank you very much. So look, anyway, massive E3. We're going to have a lot of coverage. We've got a dedicated editor on the ground with us over there.
Yes.
So we're going to be able to make even more content because we'll just be able to record, hand him the footage. He's actually working on site. Last time we were working with a really awesome editor, but she was based in New Zealand. So we had like all this sort of delay.
I thought it was Australia.
No, she was Kiwi.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, she was.
Shit.
So anyway, it's going to be tons of content. We've also got some live stuff planned. We're going to be playing Gears of War 5 live. And maybe some other stuff as well, depending on what we're allowed to and what we're not.
Who knows?
Who knows?
We don't know.
So that's the plan for E3 2019.
NACFU.
Keep it
wow,
locked.
that's the best crossover I've ever seen in my life.
Okay,
I'd love to see that. Sorry, continue.
So the plan today is to talk through all of the stuff that we can expect to see at E3 and the stuff that we can't expect to see at E3. So let's kick it off with the Sony stuff first, because we know that obviously they're not going to be at E3 this time around. So what can we expect, if anything, from Sony this year at E3? Right?
I think definitely no God of War, sadly. I think that it hasn't even been...
No God of War? What?
No, in terms of Sony stuff, I don't think we're going to see anything on the God of War thing.
We're not going to see any God of War.
Exactly. I don't think we're going to see that. Death Stranding, I feel like it's blown its load now. I don't think it's really going to be showing more.
It's blown its load.
I feel like it still looks like complete, like, what? But, it looks cool, I guess. The genius of, Kojima just makes anything look good, even if you don't understand it. We're probably going to see some more of The Last of Us. Some more of The Last of Us.
I think...
That'll be gameplay, that'll be hands-on, probably. That'll be the center of... they're not even having anything on the floor.
No, Sony actually have no booth, they have no press conference, and I wonder if there's a sort of gentleman's agreement between Sony and Xbox for Sony just to clear the decks. I mean, Sony just did their big Death Stranding reveal trailer, a few days ago, which I'm playing now.
Yeah.
That's cool, that's great. The Last of Us 2, we've heard, has been pushed to next year in July. We know Death Stranding is the end of the year. Ghost of Tsushima is another one, which we haven't really heard much about. And we don't really know when the release date on that is yet either. But I kind of expect...
I thought it was going to be out this year. We saw stuff last year.
But look, I am expecting that we actually won't see anything from Sony this time around. I expect that we will just have the rest of E3 to do its thing, and that Sony will kind of keep quiet. And then just let everyone have their day, and then after that, they can pick up after that.
I don't actually think it's any sort of, we'll do Xbox a favor. I think it's them saying, look, we've got a lot of stuff planned in terms of console reveal or hardware reveal in terms of power and all that. They probably want to do what they did in 2013 or whatever, and just have a very small, if not non-existent E3, and then have their own thing later on. But it is the first time that they've never even had any sort of presence at E3.
Correct.
But I do feel like that's what they're doing. It's like, no, we're going to actually completely blow our load later on, or maybe early 2020. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But that's what I feel like it is. I don't think it's like, good guy Xbox, we're going to give them the time to shine. I think it's more like, let them shine for a moment, then we'll drop in before they're able to even release their new console and then grab that hype away. Because if I was a business and I'm competing with another business, you want to strategically put your stuff you want to hype your own stuff at the same time as maybe another console or another product would be coming out.
That's right. We give no mercy to Yong when it comes.
No mercy to Yong. If we can get the video out first, it's out, baby.
Exactly right.
All right. I always call him. We can wait, Yong, if you want. That's okay, man. We love you, man. Everyone knows that we're doing a Yong crossover, right?
We are. It's been confirmed. We've scheduled it with Yong. We're going to be doing a show with Yong on Thursday, the last day of E3, to debrief E3 what it was like. We had planned to get Angry Joe in that as well, and that would have happened.
Yeah.
Except that Angry Joe is not coming to E3 this year. Yep. So we did speak to him about that, and unfortunately, it didn't get lined up. Very sad. Next year, hopefully, we'll make that happen. But you can certainly expect
another Yong crossover.
And Yong.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We had a great time last time. It's always good to see our competitor. All right, that's what it is. Let's not kid ourselves, people.
I hate, respect you, Yong.
I hate, respect, hate you, Yong.
So, all right, so that's Sony out the way. That's what we can expect to see, which is really, my prediction, not that much, but who knows, they may surprise us. Mm-hmm. This obviously is going to be Xbox's show. This is really... E3 2019 is the moment where, Xbox comes out and they're like, guys, we really, really, really fucked up last generation.
Yeah.
How about you give us another shot this time around? So that all sort of leads off into Halo Infinite, which I really think is the centerpiece for what you can expect this time around. Now, we have heard that Halo Infinite is going to be shown, obviously no surprises, but we've heard, everyone's heard, that it's going to be on PC, actually, as in, it's going to be shown on PC. They're not going to be showing the Halo Infinite on the next generation Xbox.
Interesting. I don't
Very
know.
interesting news.
Look, I don't know if it's them just trying to get away from having to announce that there is, in fact, going to be, actual footage shown of the next console. They could come on the day and be like, actually, no, let's show it, guys, on the new console. Because the moment they say, look, we're going to be showing content on, the new console, then they're announcing their new console. So I kind of get that. But I don't know if that's the centerpiece of Xbox's show, man. I really think that that's the main game, but I think everyone is lining up to see if it is, in fact, going to be that next console. That's what it's going to be. I do feel like that's what is going to, revive Xbox at the moment. They need the new console to be announced at E3, and I hope that they do that.
Yeah, look, I mean,
if they come out with heaps of games, that's all well and good, but everyone knows that they didn't win this console race, this particular generation. If they come out and going, you know what, guys, starting fresh, we've bought 5 or 6 studios before, this is all the new content, plus this is the new console we're putting it on, boom, that's the way that they should do it, I think.
Yeah, I think there's pretty clear consensus that we're not going to see a box, right? We might hear about, and people are pretty confident we're going to hear specs. The way Sony actually has already released the specs for the PS5, or at least most of them, it's pretty likely that Xbox will do the same here, but they'll save the release of an actual like form factor for later on. So that, I think, is inherently less exciting. You know, when you have a box on stage and they like bring the thing up and you're like, woo.
Yeah, I think it's almost like a necessity, you know. If you're making millions of people tune in, you really want to see some sort of a finished product, you know? Because talking numbers about, you know, how many cores it's going to have or processors or whatever, I mean, that's all well and good, I guess. But, like, not really. Like, I mean, a lot of people out there will share this too. Like, I'm not like, oh my God. I want to see the actual box. I want to see some gameplay of that. Yeah. Like, you know, everyone wants to see some visual, like, representation of what this next generation is going to look like. Totally. Not just some numbers, you know?
Yeah. So, oh, by the way, do we even mention, you mentioned at the front that we were sponsored by Microsoft, yes?
No, I mean, we're not sponsored by Microsoft. Yeah, I did. Don't worry around. I've got you, man. I got you, fam.
They're covering our flights and accommodations. Just so you know, right? We have to continuously mention that. Yes. Otherwise, we get sued.
We're not shills. What are you talking about? I can't wait to see how great their conference is.
Yeah.
What if it's terrible? I'm just going to be like, we can't do an episode on this.
Yeah.
Now, we've got an agreement with them. We said if it sucks, we're going to tell it sucks, everybody. Don't worry.
So look, Halo Infinite, there's big expectations on it. It really is going to be the flagship opening for the new console generation for Xbox. You can obviously expect a single-player campaign. They're obviously going to go big on multiplayer. I wonder what other stuff we're going to see. They've said already there's going to be no Battle Royale, so that's out the question. But who knows what other game modes they might add or where they might take the franchise. Because I feel like if they just did, hey, here's some single-player and also here's some multiplayer stuff, I don't know. I don't know if that necessarily will be enough to really knock it out of the park.
Yeah, so I feel like it's moved on. Like
the infinite sort of aspect of it really kind of opens up your mind as to where things could go, but we don't really know at this point. So
I do think that it's not going to be just here's a single player, here is multiplayer. I feel like the whole Infinite thing feels like it is going to be constantly updated content. I don't know how exactly that is.
Live service Halo.
I think it could be live service Halo. I don't know if that is, you know, kind of looter shooter stuff. I don't know. I think it is.
We've already had this conversation.
We've already had this conversation. We have to go down it again.
No one agreed with you.
No one didn't. No one wanted it. It's not they didn't agree with me. They didn't want it. Two different things, people. Okay, and I think that. They've obviously looked at the landscape, seen the success of Destiny, lol. You know, it is kind of much better now. Division 2 or whatever, like there's heaps of games like Anthem, great success, right? There's some games out there that have done very, very well.
Yeah, I really think 343's looked and said, look, the looter shooter market looks like a pretty safe bet right now. Let's go down that path.
You know, the thing is, they might have started development years ago. And
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely is something they could look at. And we've looked at it before, and I thought it's definitely something they can do.
The other thing we're going to be hearing about Halo-related is going to be the Master Chief Collection coming to PC.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Halo Reach PC... gameplay playing here on screen now. That was meant to already be playable at the moment. They're one of their sort of like test flights, betas or whatever, was already meant to be available. But the studio has actually been really upfront with the fact that, you know, development's taking longer than they would have liked. That's totally fine. Like, I really like the fact they're being open about that. I like the fact that they're taking the time to get it right. Getting these games perfect is critical, considering how bad the Master Chief Collection was at launch.
It was the biggest meme I can think of on Xbox, apart from... What was that pirate game?
See if they
use.
And Crackdown.
Yeah. But like in reality, I think that, you know, there's so much nostalgia attached to Halo. Like people out of any other Xbox games, they want to make sure that is done right because it represents their childhood. And yeah, I mean, it's just like Metroid when they were like, "Hey, we're going to take some more time to make sure that we got this game right." Everyone loved them for it.
Yeah,
I didn't care. It's all good, you know. So it's good that they're doing that. I am looking forward to seeing if it's going to be another meme 2.0. Hopefully it's not, though.
From Xbox, we can also expect to see some Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the next Ori game. Did you play this at all, Sam?
Funnily enough, guys, I did not play this game. Funnily enough. Crazy, right?
I actually think you would like this, to be honest, because Sam is so funny. Like, when he plays, like, a game that's remotely spiritual or, like, artistic or whatever,
Journey?
Sam plays it like, oh my god, bro, you don't understand. It was the most incredible experience I've ever had with a controller.
That is not
That's
true.
Sam.
That is not true. That's a little bit true. But I think that when I played Journey, I did say, I was like, this is quite a spiritual game. Like, there's like something going on here. I love this shit. There are certain games that I do love, people, and certain games that I hate, but you think I'm going to like this game.
I think, look, it's a beautiful game, Ori. I'm really glad they're making a sequel. I played some of the sequel at Gamescom this year. By the way, the Emperor, thank you very much, man. $20.
Oh,
extremely generous of you.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate
I played the sequel at Gamescom, and it felt absolutely stunning.
Is it like Hollow Knight? Looks a bit like Hollow Knight.
Look, no, because Hollow Knight's like the whole sort of world exploration. This is very linear, even though it's a bit more open world this time around. But look, just the art style is incredible.
Yeah.
The music, the control of it, just the way it actually has that thing where you can fly through the sand. It's just all of it is crazy good. Like, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people look at this sort of stuff and they say, well, that's not for me. I get that, but I honestly would recommend checking out Ori because it really is surprisingly excellent.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm personally quite looking forward to it. So that's that. That's Ori. What else can we expect from Microsoft? Gears of War 5.
Remember that pop art Gears of War thing? What happened with that?
They had the pop final Gears of War.
When I saw that, I was just like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
It's not. A lot of Gears fans will not want that. I mean, personally,
They just no. It's in addition to a proper Gears game.
Sure.
It's not like a Diablo mobile where
I was
everyone
gonna
Diablo
say,
Immortal where
that's
everyone's
exactly
like,
what I
can't
was
wait
gonna
for
bring
Diablo
up.
4, and then it's like, hey, LeMayo.
Speaking of that, is any Blizzard stuff dropping at E3?
No, the only
That's funny.
the only
isn't it?
Blizzard news that we've heard recently was that they were working on a
Reforged?
game. No, they're working on a game for 2 years.
I saw that.
And they recently dropped. Now that made it like big news. Like, oh my god, Blizzard's in crisis. They're canceling games.
They cancel games all the time.
Cancel games
That's
all
just
the
part
time,
of it.
man.
I felt like it was going to be something to do with Overwatch. Because the ending statement of that, it was
Yeah, it
like
was
something
released
about
with Overwatch.
what did he say?
He
It was
just
like,
says, well, at least we still have Overwatch.
yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah, so I think it was something to do with Overwatch. I wonder what it is.
But either way, Gears of War 5. Yeah, I mean, look, I've never been the biggest Gears fan personally. I've never really loved the franchise. I've always enjoyed when I played of it, but I've never got
I remember
massively
the first
stuck
one
into
when it came out. Like
I
the
played
first
the first
one,
two.
Yeah, they
then-
were like really cool, very refreshing. But
Yeah.
like I felt like as they went on, I got less and less interested. For sure.
So we're actually, as I said, we're going to be going hands-on with Gears 5 at E3. We've got a stream already scheduled. You can set a reminder for it, but I think it's going to be 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah,
or
is anyone else
Wednesday.
getting flooded now by Ralph's reminders of streams? Because
Right.
he's been doing that shit.
I'm very organised.
Very
okay?
organized.
Think all this happens from Sam? No,
Mate,
it's not.
I'm the brains behind this operation. Next story. What is it, Ralph?
Yes, legit. So,
Final Four! It's happening, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo!
Nice, Sam. I like how you let into
I
that. Very
think
good.
I played. I definitely finished Fable 1. I don't think I played Fable 2. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
You did. Okay.
And 3.
Ralph was too busy drinking his coffee to even.
Fable was. I remember when Fable first came out. The first one, amazing,
Incredible
game, and
Yeah.
And look, it wasn't particularly deep per se, but it just had enough of the right elements and the right fantasy kind of.
It was one of those
vibe. It just fucking worked.
It was the first game that I played that I really, even if it was just a visual thing, like you really felt your choices changed you, you know, like you could become evil and you looked fucking evil, and I loved it about that, you know, and I think that I don't know what, but I just got less and less interested with the following Fables. Like, were they much different in terms of how dramatic was the change from Fable 1 to Fable 3?
I can't really remember. I'm just blocking spammers right now. Sorry.
Oh, okay,
I
here
can't
we
really
go.
remember what the massive differences were, to be honest, because it was a long time since I played
Yeah,
them.
I feel like, you know, when you make a game like that, it's kind of like expected for you to continue being not like innovative, but like, do you know what I mean? Like when you bring out a game like that, like Fable had like an innovation to it, like something that was so fresh. You need to continue doing that, I think.
For sure, and I mean, they tried to go in a whole new direction. They tried to make a Fable MOBA
they're
for
doing
a
it.
while. That's right. Let's keep banning them as we go. I wish Nitro was here.
Nitro, where are you, my man?
So yeah, basically, they tried to make a MOBA that fell through. Lionhead collapsed, and so now we're looking obviously at a new studio that will head this up, and it's going to go back to the old sort of like single player action RPG. So yeah. That's it. Anyway, that's Fable. We'll
That is Fable.
hopefully see some stuff at E3, but we don't know because it is still quite early. We're wondering as well, actually, here's the thing, right? This is a broader conversation we can have about Xbox and the fact that they bought a lot of studios. One of them they bought was Ninja Theory. I think it's Ninja Theory. Yes, I think it's
Something like that.
They're the guys that made... it is Ninja Theory, yeah, it is. They're the guys that made Hellblade. Really fantastic game from 2016. Wondering what their next thing is, because they've been radio silent for a while now. They've done some ports for Hellblade, but nothing since then. Xbox owns these guys, and it's like, well, what are they working on next? And that, as I said, kind of folds into a broader conversation about like all of the other stuff we can expect to see.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think there's like this is going to be probably the biggest dump of new IP that we might have seen in quite a while from Xbox, or maybe maybe a console in general. When you're buying 5 studios or 6 studios plus the current studios you have, and you know that you're losing the race, and now you've realized also that it is about IP. That's when it's like, okay, cool. I'm expecting to see a lot of IP. They did this last time, like there's so many pieces of IP, but let's face it, a lot of the stuff that dropped, what was it? I can't even remember it now.
It was not much.
Small titles or just weird titles or just things that we were not interested in, you know? And I think that what they need to do now is like come out with at least 5 or 10 strong new IPs that looks interesting, you know, because if they go back and like give us another Lucky Tales looking game, like fuck, I don't care about that, you know. I know it's a child's game, but what I'm saying is there's so much stuff that we saw in the actual Xbox conference. We'd be like, oh, that looks a bit shit. Okay.
We would never say that about Xbox.
I mean, it looks fantastic.
Our glorious sponsor.
No, but you know what I mean. Stuff that I just look at, I'm like, oh, what is that? That's just weird. So I'm looking forward to that.
I've heard. Okay, and this is summing up the Xbox section of our little show today. There is apparently going to be 14 new IPs released from Xbox.
They said that last time.
14 new titles, I should say, from Xbox this time around. Now that's a lot. On top of the like half a dozen studios they acquired, it's very big time. It's a very big time for Xbox to be sort of like flopping it out on the table and being like, look at all this amazing shit. And that's ultimately what this generation of Xbox needs. When it comes to exclusives, I know some Xbox fans are like, nah, man, we've got all the good exclusives. It's like, let's be real now. Let's be real.
Let's be real, people.
No, you don't.
We used to... I remember the 360 days. We love Xbox too, okay? But you're right. They need another one of those stupid things.
Sorry. Stop calling it out.
So that is what I think.
Yeah, nice segue, Sam.
Nice
Very
segue.
So let's move on to Nintendo now. What do we expect from Nintendo this year? So firstly, the big one...
Well, firstly, the Pokemon Sword and Shield, I know we've already seen, but that looks actually incredible.
Yeah,
open world,
let's
different environment.
We should stick to the order of that we've organised for the show, Sam.
You know what? I know what you're talking about.
So the first one is going to be Super Mario Maker 2.
That doesn't interest me at all.
I know it doesn't, but it's actually become super popular.
Why? I don't get it.
Because, I mean, people love that whole building shit. They love to be able to be
sure.
creative.
I used to love building shit in Skate. In Tony Hawk. That was mad. That was mad. Everyone loved used to doing that shit. Maybe there's a huge audience for this. Maybe there
is a massive audience for this with the Nintendo fan base. Absolutely. I'm personally not super keen on it. I don't love this sort of stuff, but definitely
there's going to be ridiculous stuff to this.
Yeah, truly. And I think it's well because it's hitting its mainstream stride. You know, it's like it's much bigger this time around than it was before.
I think that's what. Yeah, I mean, there's no limit to what other makers they can do. Like, you know, the whole Mario RPG Maker or whatever. Who knows? Like, because the RPG game that they released, I don't know, years ago or whatever, it's been wildly successful every time they brought it out for Nintendo. Yeah, maybe this is the start of other makers that Nintendo do.
So now, Sam, I'll allow you to talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Okay, very, very cool. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to... Sorry, I'm looking at the comment section. Okay. It is going to be something I think that they've never tried before, like an open world walk around. I like the idea also of like many different Pokemon will only come out at certain times of the day, certain areas, certain environmental changes. It'll make it more interesting. And I think it like there's nothing to say that this whole open world thing that they're doing can't be just constantly maybe improved. Like they don't have to just bring out one game and then like we have to wait for the next game. They can do content drops to this shit. They can open to new worlds. Like there's all sorts of stuff they can do.
For sure.
And I think that might be a really cool way that Pokemon goes forward. Like they give you 2 or 3 DLC packs that like give you like a water area, and they give you like it's too much water, of course, and they give you like a desert area, like all this kind of thing. That would be interesting. That's my hot take, everyone.
All right, nice. Okay, cool. Well, I've never been a massive Pokemon fan, but look,
I finished the latest one. Got my Mewtwo. I finished it with Mew the whole time. A lot of fun, everyone. I love that.
Even I am going to be excited for this Pokemon game, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure how much of it we'll see at E3, But certainly we'll see something, and I'm personally.
I think we've seen a lot of it already. I'd be surprised if we saw a huge amount on that. I think whatever they do show at E3, it'll be just like gameplay, you know? Yeah. Have they announced an actual release date yet?
They have. It's like November 27th or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so the other one is Bayonetta, actually, which I am... Sorry, just give me a second.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3. We haven't heard anything more about that other than when it was first announced. Bayonetta, really amazing game. Let's get the trailer up here now. So we know it's coming. We haven't heard anything more about it. Fingers crossed we'll actually see something at E3. By the way, Nintendo are not doing a press conference per se, like a live press conference. They're doing their Nintendo Direct. And that'll be on, I think, Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
I think it's either Tuesday or Wednesday. So
interesting wording. Like, it's going to be the same thing, really. Come on, it's the same. Like, calling it, their press conference or Nintendo Play or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, are they doing that because they don't think they have as much content to show? They don't want to brand it a certain way?
I think they'll have a lot to show. I think Nintendo have plenty.
I think we're going to see the new Smash character, everyone. I think it's going to be Banjo, okay? I want Banjo-Kazooie in this goddamn game. I've played so much of Super Smash Bros. On my own, we've got 2 Smash Brothers, quick story, 2 Smash Brothers.
Quick story.
2 Switches in the house, okay? Me and Alec, Thick Boy, play Smash every night. On my own console, I've played like 1,500 games of this goddamn thing online. So I'm a huge fan. I really do want to see Banjo-Kazooie or Rayman. That'd be pretty cool.
Rayman would be alright.
It'd be really cool.
The other thing we might see more of from Nintendo is the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which looks really amazing. Like
I thought it was Wind Waker remake.
Yeah, no, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I unfortunately no, but also at the same time, I'm super glad that this is happening.
Sure.
Just the art style that they're bringing to this remake is just incredible. It's just classic Nintendo, man. They don't half-ass anything except maybe the latest Star Fox game, lol. It really does. And I'll just skip ahead so I can actually show you the good bits. But just look at that, man. Tell me you don't want to play that. That just looks immediately
incredible.
so, and it's like you've seen that perspective so many times, but just that art style, you've just never seen something like that before.
There's something about exactly right. There are certain types of games like, I don't know, 2D fighters or some shit. Like you look at it and it's something immediately that draws you when you see this old style of Link. There's the nostalgia to it, but it's so pretty. You're right. There's just so many good things. Hopefully they continue doing this too. If this goes really well, there's a whole side thing that they can continue with Links. Like, it can be the 3D thing. It can also be these things. Because I'd love to see a remake of, which one's Link to the Past?
Yeah.
Link to the Past. I was going to say, hopefully this isn't called Link to the Past. Link to the Past would be also a really great one. Because if you look at the highest rated games ever in Nintendo, it's still up there in the top 5 games.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, that looks very exciting, everybody.
So, what else? There's also going to be a Animal Crossing coming as well.
Not interested at all.
No, we'll skip over that one.
We can look at it if you want.
Luigi's Mansion 3 we can also expect to see.
Okay.
Which the Luigi's Mansion games were actually always excellent. So
I've never played them, to be honest, but that will be interesting to see because I wouldn't mind actually going and actually playing a Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, and look, everyone's Hail Mary hope is the Metroid Prime 4.
We won't see anything on that.
I'm very sure we won't. We recently saw an update from Nintendo being like, hey, we kind of fucked up the development of Metroid Prime 4 so much, we're giving it to a different developer now. Stick with us. But
I think everyone loved that.
Everyone
it was really
did love
good
that.
to see that honesty and transparency.
It was
so rare in the gaming industry. We did an episode on that. It was a solo episode, actually. Everyone's fantastic solo episode. But, I think I don't think we'll see anything. And they've correctly kind of got the audience ready for that. It'd be different if they were like, guys, it's coming soon. Yeah. But if they're going to give us 3 months ago or 4 months ago, hey, we're going right back to the beginning. We're not seeing anything, and that's actually completely fine with me. I'm sure it's fine with everyone else. For sure. So, Starfield.
All right. Well, thanks, Sam. You really built
Bethesda.
up that beautiful transition to Bethesda right there. I really appreciate the work you did. Thanks very much.
How did I do that?
Never mind. Just like, okay, let's go straight to the next thing.
Bethesda.
You need to build it up a little bit, man.
Okay, let's build it up. So, guys, talking about other games that might be coming or not, right? Let's talk about Starfield. Wow, that was really good.
That was really fantastic, Sam.
That's how you do it, people. Okay,
so,
300 shows in. That's how you do it.
Bethesda. That's Nintendo done. Oh, by the way, we're not seeing any new Switch hardware announcements at E3, so you can cross that off your list. There's often been rumors about whether or not we're going to see like a redesigned Switch or whatever else, one that has you can't detach the controllers and all that sort of stuff.
A mini version.
Correct. So, but they've said there's definitely going to be no hardware announcements here at E3. It's just going to be about the games. That's how it works.
That doesn't mean that it won't come later, because they have filed patents for, certain designs or whatever. They've also got a new chip thing that they're trying to put in, or it's been rumored. So I do think we are going to see a Switch Pro in the next year. It just makes sense. Give something that's like a higher frame rate or like a better screen or whatever, and also a mini version. It should happen, but who knows? Yeah, but anyway, totally. Let's talk about segue time. Speaking of new hardware, Starfield.
Nice.
So that's how you do it, everybody.
So Bethesda, okay? Now, this is going to be an interesting show for Bethesda, because they've said for Starfield and Elder Scrolls, we're not going to see anything from those games at this show. Which is really like their kind of main deal as Bethesda Game Studios. Now, we're going to talk about Doom, but don't get me wrong, we know all about that. But really, when it comes to Bethesda, the main games in town are from Bethesda Game Studios, and we know that we're not going to see anything from Bethesda.
This is the first time also that we've seen Bethesda have to fight now to uphold their reputation. You know what I mean? Like, they have been... It's a complete meme now, when we've seen Blades #1, everyone absolutely hated that in terms of their monetization. Fallout 76. Rage 2 was semi-well received, but no one was jumping up and down with it. Like, I think there's a general consensus that there is a lack of confidence now in Bethesda, and I think that we need to see some Starfield stuff, and we need to see some... I mean, Bethesda and id, of course, are separate, but id is under Bethesda, and that will represent Bethesda. So if we see a incredible show when it comes to Starfield, we also see some stuff from Doom, maybe it'll get people back, kind of, but in reality, I think, it's going to take years, in my opinion, 5 years at least, for people to forget this whole meme that was 76,
Yeah, I mean, it just did, it did huge brand damage,
massive. So... And Todd Howard recently, probably did a little bit. Mate, it completely destroyed, not destroyed the Fallout series, but everyone is going to be very hesitant for the next Fallout.
Yeah.
Everyone also is going to be very hesitant to see any work that Todd Howard puts out in the future, and if they can fully trust what he says at the E3 press conference when he says 16 times the detail. Yeah. You just don't know if it's completely full of shit when he's recently come out and said, oh, by the way, I knew this game would suck. You don't know now, So
yeah, look, Todd recently did an interview saying that the technology for Elder Scrolls 6 just wasn't there. And he's been saying that for a while now, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of had this cheeky look on his face when he's done it. He said it recently in this interview as well. The technology just isn't there for Elder Scrolls 6, but it's there now and we're making it now. And it's just... Before this time, we might have believed him, but now it's just I don't know, man.
Especially,
I just don't believe anything you say.
Especially when
at all.
Especially when there's plenty of things out there saying that they're going to be using some sort of evolution of the engine that they're using still. I mean, does it need to be completely rebuilt, or can they actually resurrect the engine that they're using right now? Probably not. It feels like after so many bugs, such a bad reputation in terms of what these games are actually brought out at in terms of release date, I would go back to the drawing board and actually completely use a different engine. But who knows if that... What's it called again? Creation Engine?
Creation Engine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's Elder Scrolls and Starfield. I said nothing at the show. Very skeptical about how that's going to go. We are expecting that we're going to get some new information about Fallout 76. Because they need to continue to update that game to keep it alive.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be, guys, we've heard you, and we're giving you a immediate uninstall button. Woo! Yay!
That actually would get massive cheers. I would totally be down for that.
If Todd Howard made that joke, I'd be like, brownie points, man. You're back in. I don't mind you now.
So there's that. Now, the other thing that we can expect to see from Bethesda is obviously, and really the title that we're looking forward to the most, is going to be Doom Eternal. Now,
sure.
I've got the trailer playing here.
About halfway through, I think.
There we go. We got it. So, look, Doom Eternal was unveiled at QuakeCon last year. We were there in the crowd when we saw it.
When we were still friends with Bethesda.
And then I actually did a car ride interview with the developers of this game, the lead developers, which is fantastic. Look, this looks fucking sick. Doom 2016, absolute masterpiece of a game.
Sure.
This just looks like it's just dialing everything up to 11. Mick Gordon is returning in terms of soundtrack. Yeah, it's just everything about it is just going to be off the charts.
I think I'm very excited for this, but I retain by what I originally said. I hope that they expand on this in terms of giving us a really also a compelling and interesting narrative. Because before it wasn't about that. Some people were like, it's Doom, man. It's just about killing zombies. Oh, sorry, killing demons. That's cool. You can also give a really interesting, compelling, and unique story. There's nothing wrong with that. And I hope that they do that. Because for me, when I finished this game, I thought it was incredible. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was the best shooting mechanics I've ever experienced. But after 12 hours or whatever, I was like, cool. I'm going into rooms, but like it feels like there's not much of a reason to do it. You know, so that's what I'm hoping from this, personally.
It's never going to happen. You can already...
I don't agree with that, man.
They've made extremely clear what their storytelling philosophy is, and it's not going to be long, drawn-out cutscenes. And
it's not about...
And like a government conspiracy. It's not that.
It's not... that's what I'm
literally
saying.
just how do we kill demons
as
quickly as possible.
But I think you can have your cake and eat it too. I think a lot of the comments, a lot of the audience here will maybe agree with this, that you can have...
a lot of people saying it.
A lot of people.
Doom did not have enough story.
It's great. I think that there is definitely a void there that they could fill. That's all I'm saying.
I personally disagree. I don't think there is any void. I think their storytelling last time was absolutely perfect. It didn't need to change.
There was no storytelling last time. It was just
exactly
like walk into a room,
storytelling as it needed.
touch a rune, it'll tell you some random lore shit, and keep going. Like that's fine. But what I'm saying is,
you should have read the codex. You should have read the codex. Let me just say that you should go read the codex.
You know, I should watch that documentary. Actually, you told me to watch.
Yes, you should watch the documentary.
But all in all, still, I think people understand that Ralph's an idiot. And next, speaking about idiots. Wolfenstein,
the Youngblood. Now, this one is weird, okay? So, Wolfenstein...
weird because it's about two females? Jesus Christ, Ralph, what the hell are you talking about?
It's actually not just about two females. The tone of it is really different. It really
I haven't seen this, actually. I haven't seen this trailer.
If you watch the tone of this, it's like Eagle-Eye Detective Agency, or if anyone remembers that game from like way, way, way back. It just has this kind of vibe of like the Goonies almost, where... the daughters of Blazkowicz are like finding out the secret of their father, but like in a really like happy camp way, if that makes sense. It's not like it's not dark and serious.
I saw this original trailer when they just announced it. I have not seen this one, but
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the dislike ratio kind of says what you need to know in terms of like how people are receiving this. A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad, but still, it's not.
Look,
great.
I'm still certain it will be a really fun game to play. I'm not worried about that.
I mean, look, the weapon mechanics are always first class. I thought the story for Wolfenstein was actually fantastic. Wolfenstein, what was it called? The New Order or something? The one that we reviewed last year or something?
What was it called?
New Colossus?
Because it was
First Order.
It was the Old Blood and New Order? Or was it?
Maybe it was a New Order.
The first one was Old Blood, and the second one was like New Order or New
something like that. Yeah. But I was blown away by how well I think that all came together. You know, and I think that they could definitely do that again. Perfect example, actually, of how you can do a really fantastic weapon mechanic and also a compelling story. People, Doom can do it too, but we will see.
We will see.
Okay.
So that's. What else is there from Bethesda? That's actually it from Bethesda in terms of big items. So you've essentially got Starfield and Elder Scrolls not there. Their Elder Scrolls Online just released their expansion, so you can't expect to see much except, hey guys, we just released an expansion. And yeah, then there's going to be just the Youngblood and Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
So smaller show.
I want to see Ralph's segue now to the next time. Here we go. All right, so we just finished with Bethesda.
I actually need to check what we were talking about. Yeah, that's right. So from one amazing AAA publisher to the other, we now transition from Bethesda to EA.
Okay.
We're doing the blacklist. We're doing the blacklist sort of run right now.
I would have said something along the lines of, now we've been forced out of the arms of Bethesda, but the force is strong still, everybody, with another game. That was a terrible segue. But
it was a really bad segue.
Go on with it, anyway. Force, everybody. New Star Wars game, Fallen Order.
This is really it's a new hope for the Star Wars franchise within EA. God, we're on fire.
It's today. Really good today, people.
Well.
I'm loving this.
So look, this one is being developed by Respawn Entertainment, who obviously just make nothing but great games. They've done the Titanfall series, and it's been fantastic. Apex Legends was amazing. I know it's got its problems now, don't get me wrong, but look, as a launch product, it was really superb.
Sure.
So, Jedi Fallen Order, it's going to be a single-player Star Wars game with no microtransactions.
What a
from
change of tune. You
Yeah,
know,
massive,
only a year
massive.
ago, single-player games are dead, everybody.
Yeah.
Corey Barlog definitely told...
Barlog.
Sorry, was like, yeah, I don't know about that, man. Go play God of War, you know? Go play Red Dead. Well, even online, but you know what I mean. But you know what I'm talking about. Single-player stories. Now they're doing no microtransactions. They're doing single-player games. They're like, hang on, we need to, you know, try and come back to the audience, you know.
Yeah, and look, let's keep our pants on, right? In the sense that, remember when they announced Star Wars Battlefront 2, and they're like, guys, no more season pass, and we're like, good guy EA, we love you EA.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to be so good, guys, you know.
And
then
look,
obviously
it was a good game.
It was.
It was a good game. It was sadly just a broken game monetization-wise. You know? So
sure.
I think that if we take away the monetization aspect, we might be just left with a really good game here. You know? And you're right in saying, like, we've seen good stuff before. I think that they can do it again with Star Wars. They just need to make sure that it's packaged correctly.
Yeah,
that was the problem.
Yeah,
you know?
In terms of other stuff from EA,
Battlefield 5,
there's really not much else. I mean, in terms of we can probably expect some updates on Battlefield 5. Battlefield just released new maps, or they're about to release new maps, I believe. I read the headlines. I haven't looked at it myself. Look, Battlefield 5 is obviously in really, it's in bad shape in terms of its sort of relationship with its community.
I mean, I just don't understand how, though. Like, you know, it released such a great trailer, firstly. Then the way that they spoke to their consumers, it was just marketing 101, people. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. This game is a complete meme. This is exactly how you should not talk to your consumers. I don't expect this game to fully recover, and nor do I expect the Battlefield franchise to fully recover based on just how many people were pissed off by it.
Look, I definitely expect the Battlefield franchise to recover. It's it's a very legacy, very rusted on kind of audience. I mean, look, Firestorm I think was the biggest tragedy of the Battlefield franchise altogether. Like their battle royale mode, which just came and no one gave a shit.
And the problem there, it was not monetized correctly.
Yeah, correct.
You know, if they did a free to play, it's like any MOBA, for God's sakes. No one ever brought out a mobile that I know of that was like, hey, pay $40 for this goddamn thing. The entry ticket it's free.
Yeah.
And skins and shit are the way that you can monetize.
For sure.
And if you want to get into battle royales, it's the same way. And that's the thing that's why PUBG I don't think ever fully recovered either. I'm sure there's a rusted on community still.
It's still doing pretty well.
Sure.
PUBG. I think it made $1 billion last year. So
sure, but what
it's
I'm
still
saying
better than the Laymen. Let's just say that.
Maybe just a little bit. But what I'm saying is they probably could have continued to really compete with Fortnite if they went to the free to play model. You know,
speaking of free to play battle royale, Apex Legends. Now we can expect to see something from EA on that as well. Look, this game launched extremely well, and then after that really suffered with its pace of updates, and especially when it's up against Fortnite, which is just relentless with content, like all the fucking time. There's always new Fortnite shit coming out, and the crossovers, and the this and the that. They've got a very uphill battle, EA, trying to maintain momentum versus something as large as Fortnite. And they haven't been delivering. So you can expect something big at E3 for Apex Legends, I think. I don't think they're going to miss this opportunity to get out in front of everyone and be like, hey, Apex Legends is still really cool. You should totally get into it.
Yeah.
But we'll see exactly
I think that, look, they're onto something really good here, you know, with Apex Legends. But I think there's a few things against them. Number one, there is already such a huge community with Fortnite. Streamers have gone back to Fortnite, which is a big problem for them. The content is obviously their studio when they first released it is not as big because it looks like it was a small gamble. You know, put a certain team on it, but we'll just see how it goes. Yeah. And they probably didn't know how big this thing was going to get. Now they just can't keep up with the content.
For sure.
But I mean, even if they bring new content out, I just don't know if they can revive the energy that we all felt when it first came out.
It's going to be tough to get it back, but look, who knows? Respawn are really talented developers, so I certainly wouldn't count them out.
Totally.
The other thing we're probably going to see from EA is our favorite game, Anthem. Now, obviously, BioWare just recently unveiled the very exciting Cataclysms, which everyone was super excited about. The core Anthem community loved it. Yeah. We loved it. We were so pumped. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So you know, it's going to be hard to top that announcement at E3, but don't worry, BioWare have already said that they're not going to be announcing anything at E3 other than what they've already just announced, the Cataclysm. So that's that. Very exciting. News. Very exciting. Well done.
I'm seeing a really bright
BioWare.
future here. I really am.
Definitely.
You know,
but like,
uninstall button also going to be there. it's going to be great.
Here's the thing, right? And just coming back to, by the way, guys, the spammers. I'm sorry about all the spammers. I assumed that super chat or that chat would actually filter that shit out, and I've looked for a setting to block all the spammers, but they're not. There's nothing that I can do in the settings to stop links from being posted, which you can do in Twitch. So,
I mean, let's face it. Does that ever work? No, I've never ever pressed on. I'm like, oh, here's a random person.
So you're just gonna have to put up with the spammers because I keep trying to swat them, and it's too hard. So I can't. Well, we'll have to. I literally can't keep up with it all, and I don't have a mod in the chat to do it. So we're just going to have to ignore them. I apologize, guys. Don't click on their garbage. Just make sure you focus on the Laymen. Stay locked to the Laymen.
If you're going to click on any link, it's to our merchandise. Still available, everybody.
Well done.
God, did you hate those people that just try and sell shit in the chat?
So look, with Anthem, the thing is, with this Destiny 2 news now, that it's going free to play, that's massive. You've got Borderlands 3 coming in at the same time in September. You've got almost no content coming for Anthem in the next little while. How the fuck is this game going to survive?
Look, I think that but everyone knows now it's not going to survive. The developers don't know it's not going to survive. Like, it took them forever. It looked the last day of May for them to be like, this is what we're doing. And it was pretty lackluster. And, there's the fundamental changes that need to be done were not there. It was cool to see that they were trying to, take away the luck thing and whatever. But, like, all in all, there's too much to do here for a game that does not have enough life in it. So if I was the owner of that, and I understand this, like, I get if they turn around one day and go, guys, we're shutting down any future content for Anthem, we're starting again on something else. I would understand that. If anything, I would respect that because I know that's what they're already doing. We kind of know that's already happening, but they just need to maybe own up to that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have taken to the end of this month and being a full month, delayed from their previous supposed to be announcement of Cataclysm for them to, it's clear to me that there is a skeleton staff on this compared to what originally was imagined.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it is very sad. But look, as I said, I think the sooner that BioWare can move on from Anthem and focus on other stuff, the better. I'd much rather
I think this is going to be the age of Destiny 2 or Destiny 3 when that's even announced. And I do think the Division is going to have a strong audience. But I really think that when this is all said and done, I really think that if Destiny continues on the path, that'll be like the World of Warcraft of the looter shooter. Like, it'll be where most people go.
We'll see. That's a big claim. The Warframe people in chat are like,
yeah, it's true. Warframe, yeah, I feel like that's like a different ecosystem entirely, slightly. Like,
there's a lot of overlap in those.
I mean, sure there is, but it's like there's those diehard Warframe fans that will, like, for me, that will like never ever play any other looter shooter. They won't even dare do it. They love their Warframe way too much.
That's true. It's a very rusted on audience. So look, that's EA for the show. As I said, like Bethesda, not too much going on. Nothing that exciting other than, as I said, Fallen Order.
I was just saying, maybe it's like a domino effect. When you release bad games or you have a bad relationship with your community and skeleton staff are put onto games, it becomes this domino effect of less content that you can show at these shows because now you have to kind of reimagine what your next 3 years looks like, and then that further annoys the audience and further makes them lose trust in you. So I think it could be definitely a domino effect here. Like with Destiny, we might be seeing the other way around right now, in terms of they let go of Activision, a lot of energy, and now there's just like more content that they want to be showing us.
Sure.
But anyway, what is next?
So we'll move on to Devolver Digital now. Now they're a small publisher. They do indie stuff. The only thing that I'm aware of that they're showing, at this show, is going to be John Wick Hex, which is a game based on John Wick.
It looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
No, but it's not. It's going for an
I
art
know
style.
that. I totally get that.
It's going for its own thing.
I get that.
And it's meant to be like one of these sort of, like tactic style games.
It looks like a game that we played on PlayStation 2. I can't remember it now.
Fear Effect. It's got that sort of like.
Oh, was that it?
Fear Effect was PlayStation 1.
I can't remember.
But look, anyway, we're going hands-on with this at the show, actually. And, look, I mean, I'm interested. I think most people would have rathered it was kind of like a Enter the Matrix style, 3D, whatever. But look, if this gets pulled off correctly and it has the right sort of feel to it, that John Wick feel, then, I mean, I'm totally down for that.
I think it's strong IP. I think a lot of...
very strong IP.
I didn't love the latest movie, but previous movies were great. Really strong character. I think it can definitely happen, but it has to be done right, And I think this, this whole movie to video game thing doesn't usually work. You know, we've seen a lot of games that come out of movies, and you're like, what is this? It's always like a half-ass kind of attempt, or they just don't know how to reimagine it into a video game format. You know, so it'll be interesting to see this. Can you think of one game that you've ever played from a movie that was brought into a video game that was good? I mean, Matrix, even that was like
a pretty good game in its own way.
That was pretty good. Lord of the Rings, you know, the one you had to fight and shit. That was kind of fun.
That was a great game.
That was a lot of fun.
Aladdin, Lion King.
Okay, fine, but that's gone way back. But apart from that, people, like, there's not a lot of games that really pull it off. Anyway, segue time. Speaking of pulling off.
Wow, Sam, well done. Okay, Cyborg Man, I just modded you, man, and also Brendan, I've heard your suggestion about typing that. I don't know where to type that, so that's a good point, and I don't know where that field is for blocking links.
Can modders do that?
We've got one modder now who can block it. I don't think they can do that, but we'll see.
Hopefully we didn't make one of the spammers a modder. That would suck.
That'd be pretty funny.
That would suck.
That'd be pretty next level mind games if they pulled that off, though.
Yeah,
so I'd say they deserve that.
Yeah,
then.
totally.
So look, let's keep moving now. Let's talk about Ubisoft.
Oh yeah.
Now, Ubisoft. The first thing that we're going to see from Ubisoft this year is going to be Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, Ghost Recon, the previous one, I'll just bring up the trailer for you here now so you can see it. Previous Ghost Recon, I was not a fan of, personally. If anyone played it, most people have to agree this was a pretty repetitive game at the best of times. It was really massive, but just structurally, it was just like, go and clear the map, and every sort of outpost area felt just the same. It didn't feel, and it really lost that strategic, tactical feeling that is core to the Ghost Recon franchise. Like, it felt very spammy. And I know that they added new difficulties, and I know that you can tweak it to make it much more realistic and much more tactical, but at its default level, when people were playing through it the first time on normal difficulty, they were like, this feels like an arcade shooter, not like Ghost Recon. So they're promising here this is going to be a lot more focused upon survival. You're going to be surviving a harsh outdoor area, so you need to worry about how injured you are, and collecting supplies and food and water and bandaging yourself and all that sort of stuff.
Cool.
I'm really down for that idea. Like, I think that sounds inherently really cool. So
yeah, I mean, I haven't played the game, but like some games I have come across, and this might be jumping into the same category as like this whole bigger is better, and sometimes bigger is not better. Sometimes, when you make gigantic maps and you try and make that a selling point, it doesn't actually land, especially when you've created a certain game that is supposed to be very intimate and whatever. So, who knows? I mean, I'm looking forward to giving this a go.
For sure.
Are we playing this at E3?
We are playing this at E3, if I'm not mistaken. We have a session booked. It could just be a behind closed doors demo.
Like Anthem. Remember, we were so excited to play Anthem, and they just sat us down. And even Ralph was so delusional. We were sitting there in a giant room with a giant screen.
I did not say that.
I remember this
or maybe,
so
I
well.
I think I did. I said, maybe they'll take us through to another room.
I was like, dude, this is it. He's like, no, wait, they're going to take us into another room. I'm like, no, they're not. This is it.
No, she's going to call me. You'll see.
And at the end of it, like, thanks for coming. Great, they're going to show us now. No, Ralph, they're not.
So anyway. The other big thing that we know is coming is going to be a Watch Dogs game. Now, it's going to be Watch Dogs 3, and it's called Watch Dogs Legion?
Watchdog downgraded?
Watchdogs? Yeah. Burn. So, by the way, we're actually going to be at the Ubisoft press conference. We got tickets to the Ubisoft press conference this year. Last year, I was able to go, but they didn't give Sam a ticket, which was
They
awesome.
didn't understand how important the Laymen was, but now they get it, everybody. I'm going to be sitting probably in the back. But that's okay. I'm there. That's all that matters. So jealous when, what's his name again? Miyamoto got up. Was it Miyamoto?
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yeah, that's right.
There.
And
Ralph
Ralph was like, well, guess who just got on stage? I'm like, fuck you, man.
So look, Watch Dogs 3, they're promising this new feature where you can actually control anyone in this game. As in, like, any NPC on the street, when you see them, you can kind of like take control of them and start doing their thing, like playing the game with them, and they all have their own unique like abilities. So if you want to do a certain thing, this person might have the hacking ability, this person might be better with weapons, whatever else, I don't know. But look, that's a cool concept of you being able to like Agent Smith into anyone that you see on the street.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2, I mean, totally, it wasn't really my jam. It was a bit more sort of like punkish, a bit sort of like Sunset Boulevard, if you remember, versus the much more dark and serious Watch Dogs 1. But look, I'm definitely willing to give it a chance, and we'll see how that lands. We'll see what that goes. What we won't see at E3 this year from Ubisoft is Skull and Bones. If anyone remembers that, I played this.
That's right. I was expecting this out already.
This is, yeah, it was meant to be out already. This is that pirate ship game, which is basically Assassin's Creed's naval combat, but an entire game.
Sure.
Now, when I played this, and I did play this, I was like, whoa, this is not a thing. Like, it was so close to, you know...
Sea of Thieves?
No, it was so close to Assassin's Creed's naval combat. I was like, what have you added here to justify this being its own game? You cannot get off the pirate ship. Like, it's literally just, this is the game. And so, you know... I was really glad when they said, look, we're delaying it. We're going to do more work on it. We're going to change it up because...
I wonder how much of an audience there is for this, though. I really don't know.
Look, people love pirate shit, man. There's always an audience for pirate shit. I would be down for it. If I could get off the ship... Like, why? I just don't understand why they don't make this a fully fledged pirate game. I'd be so down for this being an Assassin's Creed spin-off.
Yeah.
And it's all just pirate-based. Because Black Flag was fucking awesome. Like, it was such
Even Conrad loved that.
Even our brother who doesn't play
video games sat there and, like, finished the whole thing and would sing the songs around the house and shit.
Whiskey is the life of man. Whiskey. It was a great song.
Oh, God.
So,
It is hurting. No, but I think that, I just don't know if there is maybe there is a huge market for it. I know that there's a lot of naval combat games that have their own rusted-on communities and they're always lining up for it.
Yeah.
But we'll see, I guess.
There's rumors of a sort of roller derby game from Ubisoft this year as well, which is, you know, roller derby is that thing where you go in and it's like roller skating and you kind of have to like knock each other down and shit. I actually don't know the rules of roller derby. All I know is it's fucking violent.
I think it meant derby like those giant trucks and shit.
No. I mean like people in a rink on roller skates.
On a rink?
Like a skating rink. That's what,
yeah.
And then you have to like, as I said, I don't know the rules of roller derby, but like apparently that's a game coming from Ubisoft this year. A real sort of party focus. Maybe meant to sort of compete in that Rocket League kind of space, you know, which is kind of interesting.
I think it was. I think everyone was surprised to see how big that was.
Yeah, of course.
But can it be recreated? Who knows?
Now it's an epic game.
Nah, it's an
epic game. Bad.
True.
This is actually a perfect transition for us to talk about the fact
That's why you did that.
There's going to be, actually no. Let's come back to that later.
It wasn't actually a good transition. Now it's full of shit.
There's going to be Beyond Good and Evil 2. They've said they're not going to be showing. That looks
very exciting. Oh, they're not showing that.
Yeah, no. The thing is, Beyond Good and Evil 2. The way they keep talking about this game, and I'll bring up some of the gameplay now. The way they're talking about this game, it's going to be massive. Like we're talking No Man's Sky sort of scale. Not quite as big.
I was going to say it's impossible.
Fucking big. But like actually a functional video game, if that makes sense, out of the box, you know? So versus No Man's Sky is that real sort of sandbox experience.
Sure.
This is meant to be like a proper a third-person action game, but also massive scale.
Yeah, such a detachment from the original one too, because it was such a, you know, Beyond Good and Evil was like, you know, you're just going around taking photos and shit in like a little contained world, you know? Like, so it'll be interesting to see how this kind of pulls off. Now,
Cyborg Man, by the way, love you. You're doing the Lord's work in the chat, man.
Thanks,
look at all the chat throwing you love. Cyborg Man, you're the
my
dude.
man.
Thank you.
But I think that there's a lot of hype behind this now because, again, this does tap into the nostalgia. Early 2000s Xbox game. Oh. Everyone loved it. I'm hoping that it's good. I really do hope it's good. But you're right. Like, the bigger... Like, if it's really big, it's going to be ambitious. But I really do think sometimes the bigger the games are, the riskier it is to really
and that's a genuine problem with Ubisoft sometimes, where they just go for scale as opposed to, you know, like
what is that?
Finite experience.
I wonder if you can actually draw things.
Yeah.
Imagine the photos that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but like, you know, stuff like, you know, Ghost Recon's is a perfect example. Massive game, but at the end of the day, it was not particularly like fun. You know, Assassin's Creed or Odyssey, right? A lot of people really loved how big that game was. I thought it was just too much because it was like, God, you're making me grind so much. All these side quests, whatever else. I would have loved if that game was just a little bit smaller. So we'll see if Ubisoft get the balance right this time around. But either way, that's Beyond Good and Evil 3.
It sounds like they've kind of delayed it in a way, like from what they're saying. Then if they're not really confident to show more gameplay, and I mean, but that's fine. Like any game that's ever been delayed, that not all the time, but a lot of the time it means that, you know, they know that there is more to be done, you know, which is a good thing.
So, what else? There's also going to be no news on the Avatar game from Ubisoft. They are making an Avatar game, but the Avatar movies there's like 4 more Avatar movies coming, by the way.
Pushed back to 2028 or some shit.
No, 2021, I think, is when we see the first one.
No, I think that was the original one. It's been pushed back more.
No, I don't think so. I think it was meant to be 2020, and now it's 2021. But anyway, look, either way, we're not going to see any news on that because they're not going to release that information until the actual...
If they're doing 4 of them, it means like if one comes out every fucking 10 years...
Yeah.
Because the last one hasn't come out since 2009, man. Like,
yeah.
I feel like
we want
becoming a meme...
We want Cyborg Man merch.
Yes! It's done, everybody. I think that, I hope for FF Remake news, hopefully there is, something there...
What?
As I said there.
No, we're not. Just come back to that.
Oh, sorry. What was I talking about now?
Let's just keep moving, Sam.
Yeah, sorry, I've lost...
So Avatar.
Guys, I think James Cameron is probably going to George R.R. Martin this, okay? It's never coming, okay? Everyone's going to be waiting forever for it.
We'll see.
Now, speaking of
never coming, speaking of never coming, Splinter Cell. Now, we don't know if it's coming or not. Now, there was some headline recently where there was a piece of merch on GameStop's listings. It's like, oh my god, that means there's a new Splinter Cell coming. It's like, no, it's just a piece of merch on GameStop.
It's just like Banjo. There was some new Banjo merch of some random company. Everyone's like, oh my god, Banjo 2,
There was also, what do you call it? There was also Julian Garrity, the creative director of The Division, tweeted out this troll tweet saying that he was working on Splinter Cell.
And that was kind of like
troll.
It was funny, but like a lot of people would have got disappointed.
It was sort of funny, but also sort of like, dude, that's not funny.
Yeah,
I mean, so a lot of people got triggered about that.
Yeah.
Look, we don't know anything about whether there's a new Splinter Cell game coming. I hope to God there is.
Yeah.
But we know there's definitely one being worked on because Ubisoft have been pretty upfront about that. But we don't know whether or not it's going to be at this show. Yeah. And I really wonder whether or not it will. I really wonder.
At the very most, I think we will see some sort of logo tease, and that's fine, even if that's what they do, because there's a lot of talk about it, and I think if Ubi was confident in the product they're making, they might slip that in now. Oh, cool, there's a lot of talk about this, a lot of hype, a lot of, assumption that we're showing something. Well, let's just show them some sort of logo tease. Yeah.
So that's Ubisoft. Look, they always have a good showing at E3 because Ubisoft as a publisher, I know lots of people have issues with their monetization and their like collector's editions and stuff, and so do I. I think a lot of that's garbage. But look, at the end of the day, this is a publisher that does reach for a pretty broad portfolio of games.
One of the biggest.
Yeah, they really do try and wrap their arms around a lot of different shit. Every
single thing, apart from like BattleRoyale, like they're trying to touch on everything, and I think that's really ambitious and really great. You know?
I mean, I've always been upfront about the fact that I like Ubisoft despite their issues. Despite their issues. And there are lots of issues with them, but as a publisher, they do strive to create a good portfolio of games, and I'm pretty sure this E3 will see some good stuff coming from them.
Sure.
So, looking forward to that.
Definitely.
So, let's transition now to Square Enix. Now, there's
looking forward to, definitely... I don't know what that segue is, but...
There's one...
Final Fantasy.
There's one big game that we're definitely going to see a lot of at E3 this year.
Well, maybe not a lot. I mean, they just said at the moment, more to be shown at E3 or whatever. Like, who knows what that means, It
means they're going to be showing more of it at E3.
No, but that doesn't mean... it might not mean that we're seeing, hours of gameplay. It could be just like, here's another 2-minute trailer,
Yeah.
It's been so long now, and I think the audience is getting conditioned to the fact that it's hard to really know when this game's coming out or what to expect,
For sure. I mean, look, I wish that I could be super optimistic about this. Like, visually, it looks incredible. I think that they're really nailing...
It doesn't look absolutely incredible.
I think
it looks like it's on par with like what's going on right now.
Well, but I just mean that bringing that style of Final Fantasy VII to life in the right way as a 3D game, it's really nailing that, I think. But I played Final Fantasy 15, and I tell you what, that was a shitty game. 15, sorry. I know a lot of people have very fond thoughts about that and whatever else. I really disagree. I really think the combat was really shit, and I thought the game was woefully incomplete at launch. Woefully.
But you
still need to buy like the DLC and the fucking movies and the this and the that to be able to get the full experience. Way too broken up. This Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be released episodically. Again, something I'm also concerned about.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
7 is being episodic?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, so
that is the quickest way to piss people off.
Well, look, it depends. Like, they say each one is going to be its own chunky, like 30 to 40 hour game.
Disc style? Like they'll give you a disc at a time?
I don't know.
That's probably the only way I could think they do it. But still, oh my god, I'm sorry, but if I'm at a cliffhanger and I feel like I gotta wait 3 or 4 months for the next drop, I don't like that. No one likes that, especially when it's such a nostalgic. like pillar of gaming. You know, don't include this whole new monetization structure into a game that it's supposed to be a fan service. That's what it's supposed to be. You know?
Look, let's see. We'll see, because it could be a case of, it's a real, they're taking the piss, or it could be like, cool, this is the right way to do this. It's a massive game. You're putting a huge amount of work into each episode. I'm down for it. Who knows? Let's not forget Life is Strange, which is another episodic game from Square, very successful. Hitman, the Hitman series has gone episodic, very successful. I think most people prefer buying them at the end when all the episodes are out. They can buy it at once. That will still be an option, but this is the way they're going with it. So we'll see which way they go.
But look, it's risky to see what they actually do with it, because it is it's the game of the 1990s, apart from like Zelda and all that. But like, it's really up there in the top 5 games that has ever been produced.
Yeah.
You know.
The other big thing that we can expect to see from Square Enix this time around, and don't forget, Square's not just like Japanese Square, it's also like Square Enix publishing Europe, is we can expect to see an Avengers game. And that's been something that they've been working on for a long time now. And they've never really talked about what it is. We've heard it's going to be like a 4-player co-op thing, that's the rumor, but we have no idea otherwise. And so this is the time now where we can see what this Avengers game finally is going to be. So it's actually quite exciting.
I think back to the whole making movies into games. There's not a great track record, but hopefully they do it well. You know, it's hard. I mean,
this is from Crystal Dynamics. Very talented developer, extremely talented. So I have high hopes. But look, you're right. Movie licenses, all sorts of things can go wrong.
I wonder if they are a 4-player experience, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
I wonder if it is going to be very. Who knows? I don't even know what it's going to be. Like I'm just trying to think what is this game going to be?
No Quiet Man 2. That's so good.
Everyone's looking for. They're very quiet on the Quiet Man. Okay. But it'd be so funny if we did see some Quiet Man stuff. But
that'd be so good.
We're not seeing anything on that. But like, look, I'm expecting to see, maybe a solid trailer on that. Probably no gameplay, you know. But
So look, that's Square Enix. We can just transition quickly to 2K games, where obviously the main focus for them is going to be Borderlands 3. Now we are going hands-on with Borderlands 3.
One of us is.
We didn't think we were going to be. We thought we might have been on the 2K blacklist after all our Randy Pitchford coverage.
Yeah.
But it turns out we just got an email the other day being like, "Hey, you want to play Borderlands?" We're like, "Yeah, we do."
It must be from someone that doesn't have YouTube.
No, this is the thing. It's from an agency, so I'm pretty sure the
person they got no idea.
That doesn't actually know who we are, and they just saw that we have like a couple 100,000 subscribers. They're like, let's invite them. I'll get a promotion out of this for finding this unknown content
Randy
creator.
will be there probably too.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, we find it. Well, because we've seen him before. We went to his house and had a few drinks and all that. And weird night, but it was a good night.
So,
I wonder if he knows who we are now.
Borderlands 3, look, very excited for it. Randy Pitchford dramas aside, it does look great. It's the looter shooter that sort of kicked it all off. This game's been developed for many years. Just announced as well, by the way. I don't even know if it's been announced yet. They are releasing DLC for Borderlands 2 that links Borderlands 2 to 3. So that's interesting in and of itself.
I think that's a really good fan service there. Like, I think, of course, they want to monetize that and all that, but like, that's an interesting way to do that, because not only does it reinvigorate the community, it will bring people up to speed, and a lot of people that haven't played Borderlands for many years, or someone like myself that hasn't played Borderlands at all, I mean, it might be just a good segue into the world of Borderlands, you know? So I think it's a really good thing to do, for sure.
For sure.
You know?
Cyborg Man, we're going to wrap up the stream very soon, my man. You're doing the Lord's work, and we will fix up the links next time we do this. Apparently there's a way we can block links in future. Thank you very much for bearing with us on those links issues, and Cyborg Man, thank you very much for all your work. You're incredible. We love you, dude. So, look, the other one, and that's, we can actually just transition now straight into, because that's 2K games. It's basically just Borderlands 3. The other one that we want to talk about very briefly is the Outer Worlds, which is the sort of like, hey, fuck you, Bethesda, and
but also they've damaged their brand recently. Everyone knows, because they jumped onto the whole exclusive.
It is an Epic Games exclusive.
Now, some people will be like, no, I'm still excited for it. That's all well and good, but a lot of people, it would have hurt, because it's not good news when you see a game that really looks exciting side with Epic Games when there is a war going on. So hopefully it doesn't damage it too hard.
There's a war going on.
And I hope,
pick a side.
And hopefully it's a fantastic game, and hopefully it actually how long is the exclusive for? Is it a year? 6 months?
I think it's 6 months.
Yeah, okay.
6 months.
Yeah.
We are actually going hands-on with this as well at E3, which I'm very excited about. Look, I'm super pumped for this game. I know it sucks that Outer Worlds has gone Epic exclusive. I agree that it sucks. But, you know, I'm going to look at the game itself and be like, what is the game like? And then that's what we'll tell you guys, you know? And certainly from what I've seen so far, it looks cool, it looks funny, it looks well written, it looks interesting.
It looks interesting, definitely.
And
it's visually very like, okay, what is this?
For sure.
Yeah.
They've said it's only going to be, depending on how you play it, you know, it's probably going to be a 30-hour game because that's what they want to aim for, you know? And it all depends on how you play through a game like that in terms of like speed running with, you know, certain hacks or what, as in like there are certain things you can do in games like this to shortcut your way to the ending, or you can really soak it all up and just explore the whole experience, you know. So
do we even know if it has an open world feel to it, or is it just a very linear experience? Do we know yet?
I think it's an open world sort of game,
Yeah,
but
it
quite
looks like
linear
that.
as well, but like an open world,
like a curated open world.
Yeah. But look, that brings us to the last game that we want to talk about, and certainly
Cyberpunk.
the most important one of the show, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Cyberpunk.
Oh, perfect. Perfect
We're
thing to look
going to
at.
get demonetized.
I didn't see that properly. Let's go back. What do you think?
We'll get demonetized if we show that
I
clip.
think so.
So.
Oh, here's another
here we
one.
go.
Okay, awesome. Wow, nice. Woo!
That's it. The Laymen, we cut to just
the 98%
right parts.
of males that do watch us, they're like, okay, I'm glad I tuned in. Okay, this is good.
Exactly right. So look, Cyberpunk 2077, this is obviously the game of the show. I mean, Xbox, it's their time to shine in terms of like it's their moment. But
this is
the one game that everyone is fucking hyped as fuck about is Cyberpunk 2077. It's not playable at the show, which I am quite bummed about. But look, that's fine. It's fine. It's all good. But we are going behind closed doors, and we are going to see a demo version that is different from what they're going to show the public. So we'll have impressions on that, and we'll be able to relay what we've seen.
Yeah.
Look, you know, I'm still hopeful this game's coming out in 2019. Jason Schreier says that he's heard it's not, but he's also heard that it might. The rumor is that they're going to announce a 2019 release date, and then it might get pushed into 2020 to try and get that whole like pre-order hype and whatever else.
Sure.
So you know, that's interesting.
I understand that though. I think you know, with a game that is so ambitious, look, it's one thing to be ambitious. It's another thing entirely to be hailed as like the you know the second coming of Jesus. This game, you know, this is up there with Death Stranding in terms of hype. I would say for some people it's
the
more.
most hyped game of this generation. I mean,
Definitely.
there's just nothing comes close
and
to
I
it,
feel
you know?
like, you know, if they took another 6 months, if they took another year to do it, for God's sake,
everyone's fine with that.
everyone would be okay with that because they know their heart's in the right place, you know?
For sure.
So it is exciting to see what we're going to be seeing at the actual show, but I don't know what we're going to be seeing that we haven't already seen in terms of shooting mechanics. Is it going to be mostly story?
Dude,
That's what I'm
seen
thinking.
like a very small slice
No,
of
what I'm
this
talking
game
about, like
is.
we've seen already how the combat might work. We've seen kind of some of the characters, but I think maybe this new one is going to be very story driven, or maybe just like showing areas of the world. You know,
We'll see. Either way, look, CD Projekt Red, they haven't failed us yet, and
what do
we'll
you mean?
see.
Witcher was shit, man.
Actually, the other thing we haven't talked about is Baldur's Gate 3. Did we talk about that at the
No,
start
and
of it?
also Witcher 3 might be coming to Switch. You know, we
Yeah.
did that last week. I don't know.
We did that last week.
Yeah,
Baldur's
okay.
Gate 3 was just announced today. Everyone's saying it's a Stadia exclusive. It's not. It's definitely coming to other platforms as well. Baldur's Gate 3 from Larian Studios, who just did Divinity Original Sin 2. That's amazing. Like, I mean, those guys are incredibly talented developers, and now they said they've got the keys to the toy box, is what they said.
Yeah.
And to see, I'm so excited for that. I cannot begin to tell you what seeing a sequel to Baldur's Gate 2 means to me personally, given how influential Baldur's Gate 2 was on me as a gamer. Do you know what I mean?
I remember, back in the day, like that was one of the biggest games that you played. 100%.
Well, I swear to God, I learned to read playing fucking Baldur's Gate.
I learned to read really well playing Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9. I was like a young kid. Mum walked in, get off this game, and I remember this so well. Ralph, I swear to God, I don't know if you remember this.
I don't remember.
There was a conversation, Mum and Ralph. He's like, well, actually, look, Sam's reading a lot. And she's like, really? Yeah, there's no audio. It's all text. Oh, well, okay. Well, I get it. Okay.
I didn't even
I'm
remember
like,
that.
Thanks, Ralph. I swear to God that happened.
That's
Good
hilarious.
times, everybody. Another life hack if you have children. If you're feeling bad that they're not reading and they're watching TV, turn the audio off, put subtitles on. They're reading, everybody.
Nice, there you go.
And with that, I think
That's
we will
a good time to wrap
finish
it up. But
off.
look, as we said, E3 this year, there's lots of stuff, tons of stuff to look forward to. We have a massive, massive schedule. Everything that is playable that's not Bethesda or EA, we are playing it at E3. We're going to give you videos on all of it with hands-on impressions. So make sure you sub and you hit the notification bell so you know exactly what's happening.
There's going to be a lot of videos next week. Expect at least 10 to 15. Tune in.
But we're super psyched. And, thanks obviously to you guys.
Thank you so much for the donations today, too.
Thanks for the donation. But, obviously we wouldn't get to go to E3 if we didn't have an audience. Like, no one would want to talk to us. None of the publishers would book us or whatever. So, thank you so much for providing that support. Like, being here in the chat, watching the videos, whatever else, really does mean a lot to us.
It really does.
And we love you guys, and we'll see you in LA.
Young out.
Young out.